Hello Wanderers and welcome back to our Elder Kings 2 roleplay series following Clan Direnni. We are picking things up a few months after the last episode. We've been trying to save up some money for our future conquests, but in the meantime we've had this rather interesting event that I believe is quite pertinent to our character Ferordomas, who, as a member of the sorceress Clan Direnni, is attempting to learn magic himself. Now, being half Breton, he was not taught in the same manner as some of his kin, so he has had to learn some of this on his own through trial and error, and this event is very pertinent to that. Before I can dedicate myself to learning the more complex spells and rituals the Alterations School has to offer, it is crucial that I understand its axioms. Poring over lengthy and boring tomes can only do so much, however. Still, I find it difficult to envision how the formulae and equations, the abstract forces, and their predicted operations can be encountered in nature, let alone manipulated. Putting aside a book on the kinetic forces, I decide that I might just understand them if I can connect them to two common alteration spells, Burden and Feather, and observe how these forces affect objects and are in turn affected by magicka. I can send for two research objects to be brought to me. So we can attempt to cast Feather on this piece of lead that will give us the guaranteed 50 magic lifestyle experience, or we can attempt to cast Burden on this Feather, which is a less conventional option and gives us a slightly better chance for an increased outcome here. And I think as a character who is of two worlds, who has gone adventuring, who has seen many different things, I think taking the less conventional route does make sense for our character. Unfortunately, we only learn a little from our mistakes, but I think going down that route of searching for the answers ourselves and seeing what we can find is the better route. Now we are going to let some time pass here while our claim builds up on Cashal and we rebuild our forces to go and deal with that now. In the meantime, we have had a few interesting characters appear in our courts. Now, the first among them is Craigie Endall. Now, Craigie Endall is a self-proclaimed witch hunter. He is a man who is driven by vengeance for horrible deeds that were set upon him and his family in his past. He doesn't speak much of them, but it has driven him to seek out monsters and evil spellcasters and attempt to vanquish them. Now, this is something we can appreciate, even though he is somewhat of a man who is probably a bit more driven towards vengeance than we would be. He may prove useful to us in dealing with the evil people of this world, and I think to that end we are going to give him a position on our council. Before we look at this event, it seems that as though we have had a son, we are going to take a look at the other character, and this is one who has heeded our call as we were building up our armies to go and deal with these pirate raiders. Jonas, a wandering Nord warrior, has come to our courts in order to fight alongside us for pay and for drink, apparently. He's cynical, he's humble, he's a gregarious man, a soldier. No, there's nothing else about it. He's a soldier through and through, but an aspiring blade master and a hunter with some good combat abilities here. So he's gonna be a good force in our army, no doubt. And we shall keep an eye on those characters and see what they can bring us. But as you can see here, we do have a son who was born under the sign of the ritual. He's looking a little bit sickly. Pirtar. I think Pirtar is a fine name for him. Hopefully he looks like he's taking after his mother, I do suspect. He doesn't have any particularly good traits, but he does have that increased lifespan, so hopefully he will grow up to be strong and wise indeed. So we are going to just let some time pass while this claim builds up, and if anything interesting happens in the meantime, I will be sure to let you know. Well, in fact, we do have something here. The death of a warlord. News from the Imperial Province. The warlord Attribus, who was leading a rebellion against the potentate of Cyrodiil, has just died. Without his leadership, it seems his cause has died out as the lords and subjects get back to their castles and cities. Not all is good for the former potentate, however, as the lords that were supporting him have retracted their support and do not recognize him as their rightful potentate anymore. Troubled times are ahead, and it seems that Tamriel will fall into chaos, and that's why we are here. That is what our goal is, to prevent at least the lands of High Rock from falling into chaos. But as you can see here, Cyrodiil is now just a mass of independent warlords no longer holding to the potentate. And we shall see, will he be able to bring order here, or what will happen in the meantime? We do have some interesting things going on in those lands, but that is no concern to us really at the moment, or no direct concern anyways. We have to deal with these pirates who are raiding the coasts of High Rock and deal with them permanently. Here we have another event. Even though I had first believed that destruction was the most straightforward and practical of magical disciplines, I find myself stumped with some of the primers that I have procured from the local Mages Guild. It's impressive that someone can write this much on the minute differences between various types of explosions and projectiles. Still, I ought to take this seriously, or else I will regret it when a simple spell fails me due to some theoretical question I have failed to address. For instance, there seems to be an important distinction between damage and drain as two categories of material deterioration caused through magicka. Can it really be this difficult to cast fireballs and poison? I mean, both will kill my enemies, but I will read more about this. Okay, so that's a guarantee one there. We could research the full gamut of destruction effects. Oh, we would gain some really nice bonuses here, or we could get some stress. No, I think we can take the time to learn about the full spectrum of these effects. And there we go. We now have a available perk here that we can take. Now, I believe because of these two events that our options are really going to be between destruction and alteration, and I think, considering it was the first one we got, I think we are going to go with alteration, because we're going to get some interesting rituals that we can do with alteration. If you see here in our spell book, we can now employ the shield ritual, which will reduce our friendly fatal casualties by 5%. So we're not going to keep that active, but when we go to war, we will certainly be making use of that. We also have access to some alteration spells, I believe. Dispel here, we could get rid of any hostile spells that have been cast upon us, but none have thus far, so that is no need to use that just yet. But as you can see here, we are just about to deal with these pirates once and for all. Indeed, we will. We will pay the money to build our fleet, and we will send that fleet to deal with these pirates, leaving our pregnant wife, unfortunately, behind. I am going to make sure that she is not in our army. Let us double check. Indeed, we're probably going to forbid you from being in with the army. We have enough skilled warriors here, as you can see: Jonas, Sevion, Snagbash, Craigie Endall, and Osring as well. So let us deal with these. Let us deal with these pirates. We shall raise our armies, and we shall send them in. Now, I will probably lead the army myself. We are going to open our spell book and use that ritual. put it active here. And our armies will have a... I see, we forgot to declare war. Let us declare that war. There we go. Now we shall raise our armies. And go to war with the pirates. Come now. There we go. It won't take long to sail there, no doubt. I think that we shall undoubtedly deal with these pirates quickly as well. And here we go. We're going to slow time down. There's the pirate army. Let us see how well this battle goes. Now, obviously, they are defending these islands. But we have Direnni sorcerers and some of the most powerful warriors on our side here. Oh, we have gained the trait maimed. It looks like we have lost an eye in the battle with the pirates here. Very interesting, and the fight is actually quite close here. As you can see, the pirates are putting up a strong fight, but as you can see, we have come out of it victorious. We have captured Pata. No real great capture there, but she is a pirate. Well, unfortunately, we can't execute this pirate, not without taking a massive hit to our stress, but if we do capture the pirate leader, we will suffer through that and indeed execute the pirate leader. This woman, though, she is probably simply just being put to use by these evil pirates. Let's take a look at the details of this battle while the siege rolls on here. As you can see, Diara was slain by Snagbash. This man died of internal injuries, and a few of their own warriors were injured in that battle as well, maimed and injured there. So, as you can imagine, well, we lost an eye in the battle. That's gonna be an interesting one. I mean, the eye patch looks cool, so I'm not gonna take anything away from that. We have had a son here. Oh, look at this. He's hale, he is attuned, and Tregrim, Ankatar, Aldaril. I think that... Oh, what's a good Balfieri name? Ambaren. Yeah, I think Ambaren is a good name. So now we have 3 sons, and hopefully they will grow to be powerful warriors in their own right. I have no doubt that they shall. Here, the siege is almost done, and it is indeed done. The pirate lord attempts to flee, but the islands are ours to claim. So, number 1, we are going to make sure we're going to leave Snagbash here on the islands to root out the last of the pirates and deal with them as he so wishes, executing them all. We probably hung, I imagine, dozens of pirates who didn't manage to flee to their ships. And with that, the pirate threat is done for now. So, we were, as you probably imagine, going to deal with Queen Mariette of Camlorn, but it appears that she was murdered by Queen Danella of Daggerfall. Well, some interesting politicking going on here. Queen Danella of Daggerfall murdered the Queen of Camlorn, leaving King Marbet in charge. Well, that takes away the threat of Camlorn, obviously, but the Queen of Daggerfall, a known murderer, dealing with her threats through subterfuge. I imagine that this will not let us look kindly upon the Kingdom of Daggerfall here. Now, she may be known as a good person, but underhanded indeed, so we will have to keep that in mind. We're gonna let time just kind of roll on a little bit here, and indeed see what our next options are going to be. Now, obviously, we've dealt with the pirates. That is good. But where do we go from here? I took a look a little bit earlier, and it doesn't seem like any of these nearby characters are anything particular to worry about. There's a Ravener here. He's not really a good man, but it's mostly just greed, and that's not something we're particularly interested in. But I did notice that we do have this spineless villain here, trusting but a callous and craven man, a flamboyant trickster. I think that this may be somebody that we want to deal with, essentially piratical orcs as well, who are probably raiding coastlines and such as themselves, but although they are craven, he is, as you can see, a villain, and that does allow us the opportunity to act against him. So we are going to fabricate a claim here. Will that anger the Queen of Daggerfall? Possibly. Hopefully she doesn't have us murdered, but such as it is. My son and heir Andame is an unusually calm child. When others play wild games, he withdraws to some silent corner. He does not speak a lot, but I can tell he is always thinking about something. He gains the trait pensive. Interesting. That gives him the option to go for a learning education or a stewardship education. We could still give him the martial one, but he would have a better chance if he goes for one of these. Now, maybe we give him learning and hope that he kind of goes down a magical route. I think that is possible. Perhaps he will become a powerful mage, even though he doesn't have the lifespan of a full-blooded Altmer. He does have a little bit of a longer life, and that'll give him a little bit more time to learn magic in the meantime. As you can see, we are still injured, and obviously we have lost our eye. We've got this pretty cool epic eye patch here. Hopefully we will not succumb to our injuries. To that end, I would like to get a court physician, but we don't have the money for it yet, so we are just going to have to hold on and wait. Money is going to be a little bit of a problem in this campaign, but it is a problem that we will deal with in time. So I am going to let a little bit more time pass, and we will come back when something of interest happens. As you can see here, we have had another son, and she wants to name him after us. I believe, I think that's a fine name, a lovely idea. I mean, it's our name, so of course I think it's a fine name. He is hale, he is attuned, so a couple good traits here. So we have had 4 sons now, as you can see, and that's going to be pretty interesting. We're going to have an interesting generation of characters coming up next. All of these characters with a little bit of Altmer blood in them. The hustle and bustle is palpable among the traveling merchants' stalls. The temporary shacks are stacked to the rafters and contain all manner of knickknacks. These pieces are positively radiant and would make for a lovely gift. Allison and I walk by one of the merchants peddling jewelry, and she hesitates slightly as she leans in for a closer look. Oh, we cannot afford this. The gift of our company is bright enough, my dear. It is indeed. So, we are saving up our money, and slowly but surely we are building it up here. So now that we can get a little bit of taxes and from the ports here, just off the coast of Sentinel, that is excellent as well. Living Energies. I have been struggling with this primer on restoration for some time. The book is comprehensible enough and provides some clear outlines and formulaic descriptions of the standard restoration spells, but there is one issue with it that has stumped me. It makes repeated reference to the living energies, assuming that the reader understands. It makes several explanations of restoration's methods and mysteries contingent on this concept. I have searched for the term elsewhere to no avail, here and there obscure references. Most of them are of a religious nature or at least a metaphysical. This much seems to be obvious. The living energies are what we in the school affect through magicka in living bodies to cause the effects of our spells. It is fundamentally divine bequeathment to mortals. These energies are some exotic creation, not unlike magicka. Or is it important we know, provided that we use them for good? What does this do? Prioritize the well-being of us over their own studies. You know what? I feel like that is the character that makes the most, or a choice that makes the most sense for our character. And even though that slows us down a little bit, that does fit with what Ferordomas would do. Interesting. The partition of Skyrim after the death of High King Logrolf. Skyrim was broken into two halves. The new holds supported the new Western Pretender, while the old holds threw their support behind the daughter of the last High King. Now, after years of uneasy peace and Cold War, the two claimants of the old throne of Isgramor met and marked the end of this conflict. High King Farengar and High Queen Freydis recognize each other as the High King of Western Skyrim and the High Queen of Eastern Skyrim, respectively. Only time will tell if this peace will last, or if one side will try one day to claim the old High Kingdom for their own. A land divided, but a land at peace. So as you can see, Skyrim here remained split between these two major powers and the few lords of the other holds, such as Whiterun, the Rift, and Winterhold here. Oh, is this... what do we have here? The Dirennis are being raided by the Kinhold of Vaith. We're being raided by... who are these people? Other High Elves? Interesting. I didn't think that they would be raiders. Where are you from? Where is this place? Okay, so they are in Alinor. Interesting. I'm curious why they're raiding us. But, I mean, is there much we can do about it? So what are we gonna... we can't really do anything about these raiders. Unfortunately, we don't have the forces. They are going to raid these lands and hopefully not take any prisoner. Oh, our sister was taken prisoner. And our brother-in-law. Okay, well, is there anything we can do? Is there anything we can do to free them? Unfortunately, it seems not the case. Can we... yeah, it doesn't seem like there's anything we can do. We mustered our forces, obviously, and would have sent them to the Isle, but by the time we got there, the raiders were long gone. "Pa," shouts Pirtar directly into my ear. My eyes open up reluctantly, one at a time. That's one way to wake up, I suppose. The small child next to my bed is positively vibrating with excitement, clutching mittens and an expensive wooden platter. It is snowing outside and I want to go sledding. Will you take me? Ha! Just let me haul us out a table from the hall. Oh, we could do that. Go ask your brother. You know what? Perhaps the brothers can play together. I think that would make the most sense. We have more important matters to deal with, considering that our forces just reached the Isle here and discovered that our sister-in-law and our brother-in-law have been captured. That is unfortunate. Hopefully we will be able to ransom them. That is not up to us. That is up to the Kinlord. Most people believe that illusion is all about deception, and even though this assessment isn't wrong per se, there is of course more to this school than mere glamours and mirages. For instance, the apophatic intrusions projected into one's surroundings, one can turn the fundamental magics of illusion into something that reveals the truth instead of concealing it, the simple clairvoyance spell. Granted, its scope is limited. I have found no references to it being refined to such a degree where it could rival the alleged prophetic gifts of the wise women of Morrowind, or even the cultists of Azura. It seems like one can only use it to strengthen intuition, confirm reasonable doubts, and connect thoughts that were already there. But perhaps I could attempt to tune it as high as possible. Ooh, well, I do like the idea of investigating this further because Clan Direnni is well known for its advances in the realm of magic. I think we might try to do so ourselves, so let us attempt. We exhaust our magicka with no results, so we did learn a little bit from that, but we didn't make any major headway into new ways of using the spell, and that makes sense. Our character is not as inclined as many other more powerful mages may be. As you can see, our son has learned the Bretic language through observation, so he knows Altmeris and Bretic, which is perfect. And here we can get another spell. Now I think that perhaps going through restoration may be a good option. I think that is something that would probably be of use to us. I wonder if we can even use a restoration resilience. What would that do? A small health boost? I mean, probably couldn't hurt to do so. We're still suffering from some of the injuries from losing our eye in that battle. So we still have a way to go towards healing. As you can see, our wife is pregnant again. So that is excellent news. We're not going to have enough lands to give out to all of our children, so I imagine some of them will go on to become adventurers in their own right. A strange noise. I arrived back at my castle after a long, lonely walk. Another year passed, another year older. I was born this day 36 years ago. The older I get, the more I cherish the relationships I've cultivated over the years. So it saddens me that I've not heard from my wife, Allison, or any of my friends today. I trudge along to my chambers, loneliness impeding my lazy feet, when I hear a clang and hushed whisper down the hallway. What could it be at this hour? What a surprise! All my nearest and dearest friends have come together to wish me well as I begin this next year of life. There's even an entire table laden with pomegranate cakes, my favorite. Here I was thinking that everyone had forgotten about me. As you can see, Snagbash here, our friend, and Sevion Sigilti here with us as well. I cannot believe that Allison went to all the trouble of arranging this in secret. I had not a clue such a thoughtful surprise was being planned at all. My friend Sevion approaches me, struggling to carry 3 beautifully carved packages. Ever the trickster, he says, I have 3 gifts here for the choosing. One shall be yours. But which shall it be? I think that we shall take the medium-sized one. And as you can see, we have become the owner of a book, the Balfieri book about warfare, an excellent manual containing training advice for dueling with every weapon known on the battlefield, tournaments, and jousting. The cover is wood that has been painted to display a repeating image of rose flowers. So we have equipped that, and that is giving us a bonus to prowess, prestige, and monthly martial lifestyle experience. So very good. We will probably switch over to martial lifestyle experience once we gain a little bit more skill with magic, but that is not necessary at the moment. But glad that our wife and our lover did indeed remember our birthday. Ooh, interesting event here. With vivid clarity, I remember when I defeated Jaen at the Battle of Sibiades Atoll. It was a battle that took place in drylands, a terrain that I was greatly unprepared for. Since then, I've been mulling things over. I'm confident if the battle happened today, I'd be a much more competent leader. Very interesting that our character is recalling that event, and we could learn to be more flexible, or I'll never let it happen again. I think we could just take the flexible leader traits. I do like that. So we are going to become a flexible leader here. So we are recalling that battle, a pretty epic battle, too, that came right down to the wire. Probably second only to the battle in the Stiarna campaign, one of Stierkar's first battles that was nearly as close. And we have a daughter here. As you can see, she is comely, she is hale, and she is acute. So she has a acute perception of magicka, easily performing impressive magic. Very good. Look at that. Our arcana is pretty high already. And she wants to name her Allison. All right, we can have one child named after each of us, I imagine. Looks like she's got her father's looks. As you can see, she does have the Altmer skin tone there, and I think that makes the most sense considering that that is where the magic in her blood comes from, really. So as we come to that, it looks like our chances here to deal with, interesting, the pirates there have been dealt with, the orc pirates anyways, dealt with here by these Yokuden ones, the Chiefess Favis of Herne. She is a rapacious zealot though, so zealous, stubborn, ambitious. This might be a character that we would still want to act against, I imagine. So I am not going to stop our claim here, but she does have a lot of forces. We're going to have to figure out how to deal with a powerful enemy like that, but we will learn how to do that in the next episode. Until then, thank you for watching.